watching the Hawks Sports Network. It's great to have you inside the Hawks Nest for some OCAA women's basketball. And to get the party started in a battle of the birds, Humber Hawks taking on the Fanshawe Falcons. And we'll have a lot to unpack here, some key players to highlight, but should be a fun day of basketball because the men's teams take the court after the conclusion of this one, and we're glad to have you with us for our HSN doubleheader. My name is Matt Hamill, alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit. And Zach, we certainly should be in for another good one here today. Humber's been off to a good start in the new year. However, just lost their most recent game. Fanshawe coming into the gym off of a win, so we'll see if maybe Fanshawe can pull off the upset here with some good energy coming off that W.
Yeah, and it should be a really interesting game when you look at it. Humber is sitting second, 10-2. Like you mentioned, they just dropped their last game. Fanshawe coming in hot, 6-4. But there's a key thing that we looked at before the game. Fanshawe's played one game in a lengthy stretch. And that's the game they won. So they're coming in hot, but it's been a while since they played high competitive basketball. Humber, on the other hand, they have been dominant. But this should be another good one because it's two teams that have combined for 4 gold medals in the OCAA in the last 5 years. Fanshawe won back-to-back in 18-19. Humber winning back-to-back in 2021. And it should be a great one. Can't wait to see it. Very excited to see the two comparisons between the teams right here. The only edge that Fanshawe has is in that three-point shooting.
Yeah, no question. You know, on the team stats, Humber certainly has a 3 advantage. We'll talk more about it right after the player introductions.
Basketball matchup between the visiting Fanshawe Falcons and your Humber Hawks! At this time, we will ask you to please stand up if you're able and remove your hats in the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your officials for the game. Alexander Terzic, Jonathan Ospina, and the crew chief, Missy McCutcheon. It's time to welcome the starting lineups for both the teams. Firstly, for the Fanshawe Falcons. Leading off from Oakville, Ontario is a 5'11 guard, number 3, Renee Matt. From Kamlaki, Ontario, a 5'8 guard, number 10, Layla McKenzie. From Ottawa, Ontario, a 5'7 guard, number 12, Karen Tibrake. From Latchford, Ontario, a 6'3 forward, number 15, Ashlyn Anderson. And from London, Ontario, is a 5'5 guard, number 24, Karen Hassabenaby. The head coach for the Fanshawe Falcons is Bill Carrier. All right, Hawks Nation, please welcome your starting lineups put together by the head coach, CJ Nafuente. Leading off from Brampton is a 5'4" guard, number 3, Karina Winter Joseph. From Toronto, it's a 5'6" guard, number 8, Kia Watt! From Ottawa, Ontario, it's a 5'10" forward, number 12, Sinat Guillermo! From Mississauga, Ontario, it's a 5'7" guard, number 15, Sarah Baptiste! And from Brampton is a 5'9" shooting guard, number 22, Molly Bonnick!
There you have it, player introductions in the books, and the Hawks are looking to continue their excellent season. We showed the record earlier, 10-2, and not a whole lot of games left on the regular season schedule for the Hawks. That kind of front-loaded a lot of the action, especially early in the month of January. So after this game, Zach, only 3 more games left before playoff time comes around. Different story for the Birds, Fanshawe Falcons. They have quite a bit more runway with their regular season, so we'll see how today's game plays out here.
Yeah, and when you look at that remaining schedule for the Hawks, 2 more home games, and then they go on the road to face Redeemer. But the big one everyone looks at is that last one against Sheridan, which is always a fun one here in the Hawks Nest.
And early in the game, Fanshawe with the opening possession, but the pass was intended for the leading scorer of this Fanshawe team, Ashlyn Anderson, but a little too high even for her reach. She stands 6'3", so the tallest player on the court and perhaps in the gym at the moment. Marley Bonnick with it. She tries to feed it down low. Humber maintains possession, and that's a bad effort there by Humber's Karina Winter-Josephs. Another shot off. That one is good. So the second time was the charm for Karina that time.
And the key there was the offensive board by Sarah Baptiste, just crashing to the net, making sure she gets there, and it sets up Winter-Joseph so well.
Now Fanshawe came up empty-handed on their first offensive drive. To the hoop. Bonnie was playing defense, and Renee Matt not able to convert. Here comes Baptiste. Bonnick kicks it out. Kia Watt's got it. And Bonnick trying to find a teammate down low once again. And Garamue working hard, and Humber will ultimately hang on to the ball here with the baseline inbounds coming up.
Yeah, the Dirty Birds working well right now down in the paint. Fanshawe Falcons. Again, it's a team that they haven't played a lot of basketball in the last couple of weeks, but they're riding in hot here.
Kia Watt with a 3-ball, and we'll see how much heat she brings into this game. That's her MO. And a great start. You know, Zach, we mentioned, yeah, for Fanshawe, you know, from November 30th to now, that's essentially a 7-week stretch where they played 1 OCAA contest, and gotta wonder, do you lose a bit of rhythm? But they were able to play their first game of the new year and get that victory over in that contest against Redeemer. 60-54 was the final there. Fanshawe looking to follow up with another bucket. Zach, that pressure too much there, not able to get it over in time.
Yeah, and that's what Humber does so well. It's just they extort that pressure in the backcourt, and then it's so tough for teams just to break through because you have players like Winter-Joseph, Kia Watt, Sarah Baptiste is applying so much pressure.
Bonnick with it up top. Hands it off to Baptiste. Pull-up shot is good. That was a beautiful look and stroke there. And Baptiste's first bucket of the game. Kia Watt averaging 20.3 points. That is second in the OCAA. And so Humber obviously with one of the most productive scorers in the league. And Zach, you would imagine that's going to be part of the game plan is get Kia Watt going. Not a bad start. Her first bucket of the game, a 3-ball.
And when you look at Kia Watt and what she's done for this Humber Hawks program over her tenure, she now sits second all-time in Humber, scoring with 1,144 points. Make that 147 now after the 3-pointer she hit. And she sits 107 behind her head coach, CJ Nefuente, for first all-time.
A little off balance that time it looked like, and she comes up with air ball on that 3 ball, but Humber off to a nice early game rhythm with a 7-2 lead, just over 2 minutes into this one. And a reminder, this is game 1 of an OCAA doubleheader. The fellas take the court in our second Battle of the Birds on the docket. Watt whips it down to Josephs. Now it's up high for Persia. And Persia Martin Brown not able to come down with it. Long stretch pass there, a little Mahomesian, and that's going to work out with the big stretch play and a bucket there for Fanshawe's Renee Matz.
Looked like Mahomes to Kelsey for a touchdown. That's going to happen later today.
Except instead of 7 points, this one was worth 2. A lot of NFL playoff action today and great OCAA basketball as well. What more could you ask for, partner?
Exactly. It's just a fantastic time of year for sports. You see a lot of them.
Fanshawe now with a 3-point deficit, a chance to tie up the game on this possession. You know, Zach, talking about 3-pointers, Humber, when you look at the team statistics, is certainly pretty threatening with that. They are 4th in the OCAA in 3-point attempts per game. They're 3rd in the OCAA in 3-pointers made. Now, that being said, Fanshawe has one of the more prolific 3-point converters in the league.
Yeah, and that, when you look at it, it's Joanna Smith who just checked in there, number 0, shooting 46.7% from beyond the arc, and that's tied for first in the OCAA. And we were discussing it, you know, is it just because of a lack of attempts or
small sample size?
No, she's shooting the ball quite a bit from beyond the arc, and very lethal shooter. You see she just inbounded it right there.
So keep an eye on Smith wearing the 0. See if she torques one up. And right away on cue, Fanshawe with the 3-pointer, courtesy of Smith, but she's not able to get it to fall. That one's off the mark, and Persia up high, brings it down, hands it off to Kia Watt. Now Beverly O'Meary with the 3-point shots, a little too short off the rim and rebounded by the team in black. And intercepted by Kia, driving to the hoop, draws the foul, and gets the bucket to fall. 3-point play opportunity for Kia Watt.
Kia Watt, just such a dynamic player. You love what she does on defense. You love how she calls a game and just kind of commands the troops. And then the ability to finish even with contact. It's one of the best, if not the best, in the OCAA right now.
Zach, we talked about Fanshawe having essentially a 7-week stretch from November 30th to now, where there's only 1 game in there. For Humber, they played 4 games in 7 days, so it's really quite a sharp contrast there in terms of frequency of games and what kind of rhythm teams might be in. There's a 3-ball, and you know, I think for all we've talked about some of the gaps in play for Fanshawe in terms of the schedule, I mean, looking like they're in rhythm, so might have to stop talking about it.
Yeah, the cold never bothered them anyway.
Hey, when it was cold, we was cold, in the words of Michael Irvin. So Humber up by 3 here. Almost halfway through this opening frame. Humber with it in the offensive zone. Beverly kicks it over. That's going to be taken by Brown. Pardon me, Marion Martin. And Martin misses there. Fanshawe quickly in transition. That shot will be scooped up. Fed down low to Anderson. Leads her team in scoring, and she's going to get a couple cracks at it there. Teammates helping out. And some free throws upcoming for Anderson.
Yeah, and you can see why she leads her team in scoring. Just such a good job on the boards. 96 rebounds on the year, 106 points, averaging 10.6 a game. She's just been lethal, it feels like.
Yeah, here we go. Second free throw to make it a 1-point game. It's short, rebounded, and converted to make it a tie game. That was a well-placed player there with Sydney Deliri. And So Deliri was on the spot there to make this a 10-10 game. This is a Humber Hawk team who was ranked number 10 in the country in the most recent CCAA rankings, but is coming off that loss on Wednesday. And again, a little bit of a tough road for Humber. The new year, 3 games on the road, right away. And this game we're seeing here is game 1 of a 2-game homestand. Humber's back in action on Wednesday against Conestoga. Another 3-ball for Fanshawe. A little bit short. So still all knotted up. Bapti with a good move. She takes it to the hoop. And nobody home for that pass and turnover.
It's just such strong play and wise play out of the 2 veterans really on this team. When you look at it, Kia Watt and Sarah Bapti, they're 2 players that have done a good job again on both sides of the ball. More so for Bapti. She's somebody that doesn't appear a lot in the stat sheets, but when you look at the game and watch the game, she's very nitty-gritty, and those are the kind of players you love to have.
And how about that? A quick bucket for Fanshawe to take their first lead of the game.
These Falcons not backing down. Strong defense there again.
And so another turnover here. A little bit of a pattern for Humber. And the foul called against Persia for the push. So 2 free throws on the way. And Humber's going to make some substitutions. See Nat Garamue and Marley Bonnick coming back into the game.
I don't know if you noticed it, partner, but after going down after the heavy contact, Joanna Smith at the line, she kind of had a little limp walking to the line, so that might be something to notice with the leg.
Smith, we talked about her 3-point shooting prowess. Early whistle there. And I think they're going to maybe call a violation against Humber. And we'll have to get confirmation. But Zach, at any rate, Bapti leading up the court. Humber will hang on to it here as the ball trickles out of bounds.
You mentioned a 4th game in 7 days for the Hawks. They're very warm. They've been playing a lot of basketball, but the legs, they're probably a little bit more tired than they would normally be.
Yeah, there's got to be a sweet spot in there somewhere, right? Between staying in rhythm, staying active, and then fatigue also on the other side of that spectrum. And see if Humber has what they need. And then, of course, a quick turnaround. Another game on Wednesday, Zach. So just fast and furious. Bapti misses the layup with the left hand.
I'm sure the players are going to say thank you for the ice bath after this one.
Fanshawe on the perimeter, looking for a move inside now. Handed off to Chloe Meldrum. And the attempt won't go. So Fanshawe sticks with that 4-point lead as Kia Watt leads it up the court. Kia Watt looking for some space, finds a little bit of contact. Bonnick, beautiful pass. I'll tell you what, that connection between Garamue and Bonnick has been fire in here, but still waiting for some of those feeds from Bonnick to Garamue to translate into points. There's another attempt that is going to result in a turnover, Zach. So going to that well, but not really finding the kind of production they're hoping for early in the game.
Yeah, the interior defense has been so strong, and that's just because Fanshawe understands how tough it is inside.
Yeah, a well-coached Fanshawe team in his 19th year at the helm for the team from London. Coach Bill Carrier.
It's a Carrier coaching staff when you look at it, the 3 assistant coaches. Danielle Carrier, Nicole Carrier, and Teresa.
No relation. Just kidding. There most certainly are. On the other side, Humber's head coach in her first year at the helm is CJ Nofuente, although she certainly has, let's just say, some experience, not only an assistant coach with Humber, but kind of already took over the reins a little bit towards the end of last year, not to mention the legendary career of CJ Nofuente, national championships, as really one of the more remarkable OCAA athletes I've gotten to see play. Many years of doing play-by-play coverage, and now the head coach for Humber, and has really done a good job in her first full season as head coach with this 10-2 record. And, you know, Zach, earlier this week, she was 10-1, just a stellar record. Picked up that L. And you see Humber certainly wanting to get back on the winning track here, Zach, so we'll see how this game kind of shapes up in that regard.
Yeah, you mentioned CJ De Fuente. You know, I read the stat out earlier. Kia Watt sits 110 points coming in to this one behind CJ for first all-time in Humber Hawks scoring.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder how that feeling is, you know? You're trying to continue to add the stats and acclamations to your career, and your head coach is the one you're chasing. Your head coach is the one that's ahead of you in points. It maybe lights the fire underneath a little bit.
That's a conflict of interest there. I'm sure Coach Nofuente, knowing the kind of personality she brings to the table, would be quite all right to see her player be able to set her own piece of Humber history. But at any rate, some great Humber women's basketball athletes in the mix, whether they're active still or on the coaching staff. Of course, Alina Domingo, also an assistant coach for Humber, who now sits third all-time in Humber women's basketball scoring, thanks to Kia Watt's performance this season.
Yeah, Kia Watt just has turned it on to a new level. We knew she was always a lethal player, but this year it just seems, she said, you know, it's my 5th and final. Got to turn it up a little bit more.
Yeah, Humber at a couple years there had both CJ and Alina Domingo playing on the same team, which I don't know what the kind of analogy you want to draw from that, but that was just quite a pairing and some national championship action to show for that.
What would you say? That was
Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
LeBron and D. Wade on the Heat back then.
Like Kevin Durant joining the Warriors, I guess. But at any rate, Zach, been a bit of an offensive stalling out for Humber, still sitting at 10 points as we see 2 minutes left.
And we wondered if that was because of, you know, the fatigue. They played a lot of games in the last week, and, you know, some tired legs, tired bodies. Just got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah, who's going to step up? And how about Maisel Del Mundo with a 3-ball to spark the offensive rhythm?
Del Mundo, such a fun player to watch because of how much she'll take three-pointers. Doesn't matter if she's cold that night. She will go until she's feeling red hot from beyond the arc.
Yeah, Del Mundo averages about 6 3-point attempts per game. That long ball is going to be followed up by some good Fanshawe rebounding, and the second effort going to allow Fanshawe to re-extend their lead up to 5. Just over a minute left to go in the first quarter.
Humber needs to do what Fanshawe's doing to them. It's just lock down that inside defense. It's going to be tough against a player like Anderson who stands at 6'3", but you got to, you know, add a little bit more pressure.
And Fanshawe happy with the call there, is turned over. Jeremy with the foul, so that's her first. Under a minute to go. Which team will kind of put an exclamation mark on the opening frame? Right now for Fanshawe, they've been able to capitalize against a potentially weary Humber squad. And Winter Joseph's fighting for it. Jump ball will keep the rock with Fanshawe here.
But that's what you like to see, a little bit more aggressive defense. You know, it still is early on a Saturday, so the players maybe the coffee not hitting them quite yet. But get a little bit more energized on defense. Play that inside defense a lot stronger.
Quick three-pointer. Another rebound. Zach, this is becoming a concerning trend for Humber Hawks fans in this game. Just really seeing Fanshawe out-rebounding Humber. Maisel Del Mundo with another 3-ball. That's an antidote to try to get things going in the offensive end. But can Humber get the defensive rebounding dialed in? Not going to be able to test that there, as that is just a clean make. Fanshawe now back up by 6. Humber could hold on to it. Shot clock is turned off. Humber has the ball in the hands of Kia Watt. We mentioned second in OCAA scoring. Trying to do it herself that time, and she comes in hot. 1 second left. Not going to get it off in time. And that will do it. 1 quarter of play in the books, and 22-16 is the score. Zach, it's Humber who started strong, but ultimately Fanshawe who were able to kind of find their rhythm and come out on top after 10 minutes.
Yeah, behind the play, I don't know if you noticed that the head coach, Bill Carrier, he was talking with the ref because he wanted a charging call on Humber's last attack, but didn't get it. And it's been a really good one. It's been a fun one to start, to say the least. I think the biggest thing with Humber right now, they got to clean up that interior defense. We talked about the offensive boards being a problem. You got to box out. There's a lot of bigger bodies on this side of Fanshawe. They have the height on you. That means you just got to get a little bit more aggressive inside the paint.
Yeah, Fanshawe with 7 offensive rebounds. So that has certainly allowed them those second, third chance opportunities. And, you know, a couple of those buckets have made the difference for this lead as it sits right now. But Zach, I mean, you saw Maisel Del Mundo jump into the fray and make 2 quick 3-pointers, and we'll kind of have to see how Humber is able to move forward here.
Again, a small sample size, but Humber 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. You know, you can't get inside the paint. You're noticing the trend because of how the size of Anderson. Maybe, you know, go beyond the arc a little bit more. You have a red hot hand so far, above 50%. Fanshawe, on the other hand, they're shooting 14, 1 of 7. So they've started to abuse the mid-range, abuse going into the paint because of their size advantage. If you're Humber, you just got to change up those 2 things. Continue to shoot the ball from beyond the arc while you have that hot hand, and then on the defensive side, close in more inside.
Yeah, 1 for 7 from three-point land for Fanshawe. But with that said, Zach, they're just getting those offensive rebounds, and a lot of those missed three-pointers are still turning into buckets, even if it is settling for the deuce. Now, Fanshawe's also been able to get themselves to the free throw line, Zach. They're 5 for 6. Humber, 1 for 1. You saw Kiowa with that 3-point play with the and 1, but beyond that, it's a couple of different factors allowing Fanshawe to be in the driver's seat. See if Humber can respond early with the opening possession here in quarter number 2.
But then also got to look at the point discrepancy in the points in the paint. Fanshawe 10 to Humber's 2.
Everly up top and not able to come down with a bucket. And streaking in is Anderson. She'll kick it out to McKenzie. And that's going to be off Want. And Fanshawe with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Nice bounce, but it's just out of reach. But looked like they might have had an open Falcon. Winter Josephs runs into some resistance. Del Mundo playing tight D. Fanshawe has to swing it back the other way. Down low. Quick shot. And the tall Ashlyn Anderson. Boy, oh boy, more offensive rebounds for the Fanshawe team, but Humber will finally come away with it.
That was just great interior defense by Persia Martin Brown, guarding the tall Anderson right there.
Beverly hands it off to Karina. Was looking inside for Persia Martin Brown. Nobody home, so a turnover for the Hawks. Ashlyn up high. And rebounded by Humber. How about that?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, though. Kia Watt went up for the block immediately, just let her take the shot and box her out immediately. Fantastic work by Watt down low.
Yeah, and you'd like to see some leaders for Humber take charge and fix that defensive rebounding. Del Mundo, we've seen her making threes that time, just getting it done with a nice shot in tight.
Hey, ride the hot hand.
Stolen away by Watt. And she makes her way in, and she's fouled. So Humber will now have only their second trip to the free throw line all game.
Just really smart by Kia Watt, understanding that all the pressure is put on the defender. She just goes straight to the lane, and she's so good at drawing those fouls. Just ridiculous when you look at it. 244 points for Kia Watt on the year coming into today.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, second in OCAA scoring. He's had some very Outstanding performances, as you would imagine, for somebody with the stats that she has. Zach, the season high for Kiowa, 29 points on October 30th against Mohawk. But, I mean, even just the most recent game against Mohawk, that was a loss, but she had 22 then. 26 points on January 12th against St. Clair. We'll see if Kia can maybe lead her team. Is down 4 right now. Have another outstanding offensive performance. Right now, number 8, Kiowa has 8 points. Just a quarter and change into this one. Oh, offensive foul against Humber. And tell you what, Zach, that interior defense of Fanshawe continues to really stand out early in this game.
And if that continues to happen with that trend, if you're Humber, you gotta readjust your game plan. Stop trying to drive to the rim, take those mid-range jumpers, go from beyond the arc. You've had success already. Just gotta continue to lean towards that.
A 4-point difference. Fanshawe still in command here. Deep 3 ball. That's off the front side of the rim. And an offensive rebound by Fanshawe. Stop me if you've heard this one before.
Good job there by Bonnick just to box out and get the rebound after that second chance effort.
Bonnick with it. She's gonna do her patented spin move. That's gonna leave a wide open Sarah Baptiste. And a contested ball there, so Humber will get to maintain possession. Checking in for Humber as Maisel Del Mundo heads out for a moment. It'll be Marianne Martin in the match. Bonnick, quick shot, rebounded by Baptiste. Love to see that. Second chance for Bonnick, and then ultimately Baptiste will get it done.
Again, Sarah Baptiste, one of my favorite players on the team just because of what she's able to do on both sides of the board. The stats, they aren't eye-popping, but when you're watching the game, you notice that 15 is very nitty-gritty. Loves to get in there defensively and then on the offensive boards as well.
And right back, the Fanshawe Falcons respond, and one opportunity coming up. That was just a hard-fought bucket there from Layla McKenzie.
This is a Falcons team that is just playing all-around aggressive basketball right now, and I don't think Humber have really realized how quick Fanshawe is playing.
McKenzie is second in team scoring, averages 8 points per game, and she's gonna convert the 3-point play there. McKenzie's another one of those 3-point threats for Fanshawe, so number 10 and number 0 you gotta watch out for from beyond the arc for the team wearing black and red today. You gotta watch out for Kia Watts. She's got the ball for Humber, creates a little space with a nice move, but it's a little short, and a jump ball. I think Humber might be the recipients of this one. Nope.
No, it's still gonna be Fanshawe. But the Hawks, they're getting more aggressive. You can kind of see it as the game continues and progresses along. The defense is way more aggressive, way more active with the hands, not allowing a lot of these shooters to have spaces on Fanshawe.
Yeah, I think Humber's defense has been, adequate. However, they're certainly giving Fanshawe their windows of opportunity. That being said, Humber's offense could really tighten up the screws in a couple different regards. Down by 5 right now. See if Humber can get rid of this cushion that Fanshawe's been able to operate with. Another jump ball, so not exactly able to free things up in the offensive end.
It's been a tough go of things because, again, they're trying to drive to the lane. That's when Humber is at their best, is when they have those opportunities to drive into the paint and just score off of the glass. But Fanshawe, they've read the report, and they're playing perfect right now. Very active hands whenever a player on Humber is trying to drive into the paint.
Humber has 9 seconds on the shot clock, 9.9 to be exact. So not a ton of time to set something up here. See if Humber moves quickly. Only 4 seconds left now. Pressure's on, and Persia sends up a wild shot. That's rebounded by Fanshawe.
It just didn't look like a really clean play, really off from the break from the Hawks.
In the defensive end, Persia is able to snatch away the rebound, but an member of the Falcons hits the hardwood. And good to see Joanna Smith is okay.
very, very aggressive play. But Persia just trying to spark some life. And
one opportunity, my goodness. Another excellent play, and you know, we have to keep an eye on Ashlyn Anderson. She's the leading scorer for this Fanshawe team, and I think that really illustrated some of her strengths, using the height and just making it look easy there.
yeah, it's a very easy play for Anderson, and I mentioned already, you can see why she's the leading scorer for her squad. Just does such a good job getting down low, getting it open.
Humber fans making a little bit of noise, and she will make it. And now Fanshawe beats Humber in the race to 30. Is the visiting team up by 8 right now. Knocking on the door of a double-digit lead. Persia gets swarmed. There's another great demonstration of how this Fanshawe defense is making Humber uncomfortable. Bapti looking for space, but my goodness, the heat is on right now, Zach. Fanshawe defense standing tall, and they're going to force a turnover.
And this is usually what we see out of Humber's defense. It's just inside, very active hands. Everybody is picking up their assignment, but then they're not afraid to go and help on the ball. And Fanshawe, they're executing it to perfection right now.
Yaramu checks in for Humber. Deliri with it. Launched up. Offensive rebound by Fanshawe. Back down low, and a little hot to handle for Deliri as the Hawks come away with it. Kia Watts tries to move inside. She's gonna hit the hardwood. And a three-pointer dropped there by Kalani Thomas.
Get some sparks off your bench. That's a great job by Thomas.
And then back the other way. That's gonna be Thomas drawing the foul. So how about that? You know, sometimes, Zach, a player makes a mistake in one end, and then they're able to hustle back and make a play in the other end. That was just a great play on one end, following it up with another one on the opposite end of the court.
Yeah, the Hawks looking for any spark that they can, and you see on the replay, just Thomas sets her feet beautifully and just takes the charge, not afraid to sacrifice the body.
Me, Zach, notoriously afraid to sacrifice the body.
Yeah, the hardwood lives up to its name.
Yeah,
very
it is
hard when you
hard.
hit it.
And we saw a member of Fanshawe really hit the deck, and it's good to see that. I think it was Layla McKenzie who really got whipped down hard there. We're gonna have a little chit-chat right now.
I think they're discussing what player the foul is on.
We're moments away from playing the Jeopardy music, but it looks like we're all ironed out here, Zach.
Let's get ready right back into the action.
Only a 5-point difference now as Kia Watt, nice move, finding herself a lane. Watt, good pass, and another bucket there. Kalani Thomas, how about the coaching decision to put number 5 in the mix, and instant production, play after play here.
Yeah, stay hot, Kalani Thomas. Executing perfectly off of the bench.
Looked like we had Smith thinking about the 3 ball. She's gonna kick it over to a teammate. Comes up short. Watt in the corner. Back to Kia. Kia Watt off to Bapti. 3-pointers. Not gonna hit the target. And rebounded by to break. And another 3-ball launched off the glass. Bank is open on Saturday. Joanna Smith.
Yeah, Smith saw the bank was open. She said, I'll just make my way on in. A deadly shooter, you can't leave her open because you know she's going to be popping threes all game long.
Kalani kicks it to Sinat, who's going to hit a nice little shot there. Mid-range, and Humber now within 4.
That's a good job by Thomas, though. Draw the defenders in, and you give Garamy a beautiful wide-open mid-range.
And like to see Garamue get going, right? She's had some feeds down low, but it's been that Fanshawe defense just making things tough for the Hawks. Swung it over to Kia. That one just off the mark, and Kia fighting hard for it, but whipped right into Ashlyn Anderson.
Yeah, fired a fastball back into the court, and Anderson said, I'll grab that one.
Stolen away, another excellent play by Thomas. And she attempts to feed it to Kia. Humber not happy with the call. At least a few players aren't thrilled that it's going to be a turnover and Fanshawe possession coming up here. Pretty big substitution here, Zach.
Yeah, since coming into the game, Kalani Thomas, she's providing that spark. And, you know, some of the plays she's making on defense, they're not showing up in the stats, but there was a play here moments ago right in front of us where she was pressuring the ball carrier so much, and that led to a Sarah Baptiste steal and a Humber Hawks basket. You got to find players that are going to give you that spark, and right now Thomas is doing that.
Garamue with an excellent defensive play. Humber with some good rhythm here as they spring into the offensive end. Kalani looking for some space. Looked like it might have been a kick ball by Fanshawe, but Humber does hang on to it. Garamue, spin. All kinds of Falcons draped over her. It looks like she might have caught a shot up high. No call, and Fanshawe with it back the other way.
Yeah, she's still feeling the effects of it. It looks like it was the right eye.
So good feed. Hassa Benabi's going to draw the foul, and 2 free throws on the way as Fanshawe still up by 4.
It looks like the Hawks are also calling a timeout, and Kia Watt and Del Mundo are checking back in.
Yeah, our first timeout of the game.
It's been a good start, and Fanshawe, credit to them, they're coming in punching Humber right in the teeth. They're saying, you guys might be 10-2, but we're fighting here. We want to climb this OCAA standings. But Humber, they started off slow. The momentum has picked up, and they're playing a much cleaner game here in the second quarter. They just got to continue that momentum, continue to build, continue to have big stops on defense.
There's Coach CJ Ofuente drawing it up. She got to be a member of Coach AJ Sharma's coaching staff. Of course, AJ, legendary Humber Hawks women's basketball coach. Moved on from the program, but his successor, CJ, is, as we mentioned before, led her team to an excellent, first 3 quarters of the campaign, a 10-2 record. Humber looking to get back in the win column here after a recent loss just on Wednesday. But Zach, so far it's been a little up and down here, and we're kind of theorizing maybe some fatigue setting in for the home team here today.
We've seen a couple of the players hunched over, trying to catch their breath. Obviously, you played so many games in so many short days. It's tough on the body. Things that ache. They hurt a little bit more. It's cold outside. Things that ache, it hurts a little bit more because you've been doing so much running around. The hamstrings maybe a little bit tighter than they would be after a week off.
Yeah, no question. And for Humber, looking to kind of just get in that rhythm. But, right now, Zach, it's Fanshawe who's been able to establish a lead and just kind of stick with it and get comfortable with that lead. Now, the score's got a 5-point differential. Karina with it. She's being guarded by McKenzie. And another quick 3-ball by May Del Mundo. Not going to find it that time, but got to like the 3-point attempt from Del Mundo. She's been able to find a couple so far here today.
Yeah, she's been staying red hot, and another foul there on a player trailing inside for Fanshawe. In that first quarter, Del Mundo, not sure if she really missed. She went 2 for 2, and both shots beyond the arc. There was a player that just walked by us. Karen to break. She was one of the starters, and she's going to the locker room early.
Another free throw opportunity here for Fanshawe, as they are certainly really outdoing Humber in that regard and drawing fouls and getting their way to the charity stripe. And another free throw made. That's going to extend the Fanshawe lead up to 7 now. And Del Mundo, quick 3 off the side of the backboard. Humber able to come away with it thanks to Winter Josephs getting in there and jarring it loose. Winter Josephs, another rebound. Del Mundo kicks it out. So 8 seconds on the shot clock. Watt, just a great job to find some space, and the offensive foul against Kia Watt. Goodness. So Kia has been kind of jammed up at 8 points on the day for quite some time now.
I would not be surprised to see a different kind of mindset change in the second half here for Humber. Again, it's just a little bit of that sluggish start. They weren't finishing as much as they would like to on the offensive side, and then the defense, there were some gaps early on. They tightened those gaps up. Like you mentioned earlier, the screws, they tightened them a little bit.
Not much time left in the first half, Zach. A matter of seconds. 3 ball. And that might have been a bit of a backbreaker for Humber, so that is missed, and a little extra there as Humber charges up the court. Bapti, how did she fit that one in? Now that would be something Humber would love to see. Bapti is often an assist machine. Humber keeping the good vibes going here. Watt looking to make a move and trying to draw the foul. She will do just that. And that's going to be the foul charged against Sydney Deliri. And Kia Watt, chance to draw Humber within 3.
Yeah, and those are the 2 players you gotta go to if you're the Hawks. Lean on the shoulders of Sarah Bapti. Lean on the shoulders of Kia Watt, because those are your 2 playmakers. Those are the 2 that have been here the longest, that have achieved championship status. They understand what it takes to win. And if you're a new player on this Humber Hawks team and a new player in the program, understand that these 2, they've done a lot of winning. They've done a lot of the hard work. 2 nitty-gritty players that play both sides of the ball extremely well.
So Kia Watt drains both, and that brings her up to 10 points. Shot clock turned off here. Humber continuing to put some heat on, but Fanshawe will find a way to break in the zone. And rebounded by Fanshawe. Last shot maybe of the half. That was indeed not going to fall, and that will take us into halftime. Humber able to draw a little bit closer in the last few minutes there. A little bit of late half momentum. That being said, Fanshawe with a 3-point lead after 2 quarters of play.
It's been a fun one so far. Fanshawe coming in strong, but the Hawks, they closed that gap. And I think going into halftime, look at that second quarter as a positive step forward. Obviously, you want to clean some things up in the game, be a little bit of a perfectionist, but that second quarter was a big step forward, and I continue that momentum in the second half.
And we'll see how the Hawks respond. They're coming off a loss, looking to get back in the win column, but facing some adversity here in this home game, the first of 2 home games. We'll be right back. We'll see if Coach CJ Nofuente can spark her team into a January home win. We'll be right back after a quick intermission and more OCAA basketball right after this. We are back. Second half action almost underway. It's been great to have you with us here. And Zach, Humber down 3 points and certainly found themselves kind of trailing much of that first half and hoping to see them kind of get a spark here. We'll see if they get it on this first possession.
Yeah, it was really a tale of two quarters in that first half. Humber in the first quarter, the defense wasn't there. They were allowing a lot of interior pressure and they couldn't control everything. In that second quarter, though, they shut things down. They only allowed 14 points.
Yeah, I've seen Fanshawe still struggle from the three-point line. Meanwhile, Humber has had the edge in beyond the arc shooting, although that did start to diminish that kind of juice as the second quarter wore on. Zach, of note, Humber was able to find some big plays at the end of the first half as Fanshawe is able to hang on to possession here. So we'll see if Humber can kind of parlay some of that late half momentum into the second half where they enter down by one possession. So a close game, a couple chances for Fanshawe on this drive coming up empty.
So there was a couple offensive boards there by Anderson, but Humber were just so potent, just shutting her down. No points allowed. Great defensive stop for Humber.
Karina Winter-Josephs, who had some excellent play in the first half, comes up empty on that long shot. Feeding it to Ashlyn. Anderson will kick it over. That's thrown up quickly by Layla McKenzie. And a second chance, perhaps. No, tied up. Jump ball will go in favor of Fanshawe.
Falcons, again, staying very aggressive, staying very stingy. But 1.2 left to go on the shot clock.
And sent into McKenzie, and not enough time to work with. So the shot clock violation will give the ball right back to Humber. So just over a minute in, still waiting for our first bucket in half number 2. Sarah Bapti marching up the court. She has 4 points here today, but you know, Bapti always contributes so much beyond just scoring, although she is second in team scoring. Right up there in assists as well. And not gonna come away with anything on that drive. Still waiting for that first bucket here in the third quarter.
Might only have 4 points, but she's filling up the stat sheet. That's what you can always expect from Bapti, as there's another rebound for her. She has 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals.
And on the season, Bapti leads the team in assists. So it's a player that really works hard and lets her teammates benefit from that hard work, often giving that smart pass and giving her teammates opportune chances to get their buckets in.
Kia Watt leading the way for the team with 10 points. But again, she's also having a good day. Steals at 4.
Quick shot from Persia. Bapti hustling to try to get that rebound, but it is scooped up by McKenzie, who's gonna feed that inside. The three-point leader, and her percentage is best in the OCAA, and there's a good demonstration why, as a bucket made by Joanna Smith.
Yeah, you cannot leave her open. She will be lethal from beyond the arc.
And Humber fighting. Garamu is going to put a little too much mustard on that one, and rebounded by Fanshawe.
Height inside by Anderson. It's just so tough to try to get an offensive rebound.
And back the other way, a quick bucket, courtesy of Oakville's Renee Matt.
Again, it's just another slow start from Humber. They're not picking it up right out of the gate, but Fanshawe, their shooting is electric to start the third.
Bapti sends it out. And here's Karina looking to create some space with the spin move. Gets her own rebound. Tell you what, only 5'4" is Winter-Josephs, but plays much bigger than that. The hustle on display. Who's going to come away with it? Garamu's in disbelief as Fanshawe gets the call there. And substitutions checking in for Humber. Maisel Del Mundo alongside Marion Martin now in the game for Humber.
Yeah, Del Mundo had a really good first half, and it was a spark plug. It fell off the bench for the Hawks, so good to see her get into this half quickly.
Yeah, Del Mundo second in team scoring here today with 8 points on this Saturday afternoon. Just over 3 minutes into the half, Zach. And Humber is still looking for their first bucket, and there it is, right on command.
When in doubt, go to your leading scorer, Kia Watt. She demonstrates why she's so lethal.
So, 8-point deficit now stretched to just a 5-point hole that Humber's trying to claw out of. There's a second look, and Watt, bang, all the time is.
She throws her hands up, says, "About time." But if you're Humber, you just got to use that as momentum, use that as a fuel going forward. You just had a great defensive stop. Now transition that into another basket and continue to grow that margin a little bit more.
Yes, sir. Great camera angle there as Del Mundo gets it in play. Watt back with it. Maybe feeling it right now. She's going to kick it out, and Del Mundo's going to hit the deck. Winter Josephs, another strong rebound. Boy, what an impact she's made. Another shot launched up by Del Mundo, and the 3-ball brings the Hawks within 2.
Let that lethal shooting get hot, and that's exactly what Humber's doing right here.
Del Mundo playing some defense, and she's going to do just enough to coerce their opponent into a travel. So Humber ball, a couple subs in and out for the Falcons.
Maisel Del Mundo, big-time three-point shooter, comes through, and she needs to right there. Like you mentioned, they cut this deficit to 2.
And another example of a Humber player not just making a bucket, but then following it up immediately with a strong defensive play. We saw that a couple times from Kalani Thomas, number 5 for Humber, who checked in the second quarter, made quite an impact. We'll see if Thomas, given her stellar second quarter performance, gets some more minutes. Hiramu loses the handle, a little slow to get up too. And that's gonna send Fanshawe's leading scorer on the season for an uncontested bucket, basically. Ashlyn Anderson, she now sits with 6 points today.
6 points, but the boards have been so impactful from Anderson on the offensive side as well as the defensive.
Anderson leads her team in scoring with 10 points per game on average, so knocking on the door of, or you could say on pace to kind of match that.
Yeah, I mean, she's sitting at 10 rebounds, or excuse me, 6 rebounds. It's just been such an impactful game from 15 down low.
Yeah, 6'3" is Ashlyn Anderson, so, you know, the scoring doesn't really have to be the biggest contribution. You can get so much done with that height advantage. That time, just using the speed was Shanti Senton.
Yeah, Senton just worked through quickly there, getting her first basket of the game.
Bonnick kicks it out, called for the travel. And it's too bad, Zach, because that was a good pass out to Maisel Del Mundo in the corner. Kind of almost expect number 9 for Humber to just knock down those threes, but not getting a chance there.
And what really worked for Humber in that second quarter was drawing defenders in and then allowing an open mid-range or sometimes a beyond-the-arc shot to go. And that's how they caught up. That's how they were able to get offense generated. Early here, they weren't able to.
Got to get it over half here. We'll get that over in time. Bapti, tough play, but she kind of picked up the pass a little out of reach and somehow got in rhythm off the glass and in.
It's another quick rest because look who's checking in again, Kia Watt.
Quick 3-ball launched. Winter Josephs, who's been a rebound machine in the third quarter, and loses the grip. I'll say a little bit of a size mismatch. You got 5'4" of Karina up against the 6'3" defender, Ashlyn Anderson.
But you know what the saying, height doesn't measure heart.
Fanshawe looking for some space. Del Mundo playing defense. And a good shot opportunity for the Fanshawe team, but not able to convert. Bapti looking to create some space. She just got a bucket on that same angle. Now it's a wide open 3 for Kia. And Bonnick working down low and not able to get the bucket.
Just a little bit offline from Kia.
Zach, Humber led early in this game, and they were the first team to get 10 points and got off to a hot start. Since then, Humber has been trailing for a lot of this game, and it makes you wonder, you know, when is Humber going to be able to flip the switch, turn it on, and stop allowing Fanshawe to just be on cruise control with this lead. Martin jacks it up, and it's not gonna fall.
And the thing is, you know, Fanshawe haven't really been outplaying Humber lately in the game. Humber's been keeping it close. It's just a 4-point game, but it's just Fanshawe's just doing enough to keep that margin just open enough where they're holding the lead.
Humber is currently on a 6-game win streak against Fanshawe, and that, of course, spanning over multiple seasons, but see if that might be in jeopardy if the Fanshawe Falcons can continue playing this style of game that's allowed them to hang on to the lead. Martin puts it up, and she was a little short on a previous three-pointer, that time making no mistake.
Yeah, Humber's three-point shooting has been excellent so far here in the third quarter, and that's really what's brought them back into this game.
Almost kind of caught off guard by that pass inside. Bonnick with the rebound. Del Mundo, you know she would like to shoot that three, but didn't quite have the window there. And 2 free throws coming up for Kia Watt, so Humber's star player able to charge into the paint and get herself 2 free throws.
And the second Kia turned that corner, she understood it's a 1-point game. I'm going to take this to the net and try to draw the foul. She does exactly that. Such a heads-up player again.
Kia with the chance to give Humber that lead back, and you wonder what kind of spark plug that could be, although now the Hawks are just hoping that Watt can tie it up here as she misses the first one. Watt will nail it, so Zach, the game's still up for grabs, but Humber has clawed their way back into this tie game right now.
Playing a fantastic game here. It seems like they're just getting better and better as the quarters go on.
Fanshawe looking to reclaim that lead. Down low. Rebounded by Bapti. Nice dribble. Finds Kia Watt. Step back three. Oh, it looked like it was close, but rebounded by Humber as Bapti keeps the possession alive. Martin trails in. Now it's Persia. Back in the hands of Bapti. Finds a wide open Maisel Del Mundo. Oh man, that was just a hair off the mark. And Persia, Martin Brown with the pickpocket there.
It's just great job on both sides of the ball. Bapti, the offensive board, she never gives up on a play, and that is somebody you love to have on your team. And then just the ball movement and the way you track back on defense. Persia Martin Brown makes that big defensive stop.
Up top now working down low is Fanshawe. Turnaround shot by Chloe. Not gonna fall.
Look who's back on the court, the spark plug, Kalani Thomas.
Yeah, number 5, she's got the rock right now. Nice pass there, fitting it in a tight window to Persia. Kia slows down, time winding down here on the shot clock. And the foul is gonna be against, looks like Fanshawe's Chloe Meldrum.
And I didn't even notice that Anderson was actually on the bench for the last couple of possessions. So Humber, they took advantage of not having that size out there. Started going to the paint. They evened things up here, 45-45. And even on the glass for the defensive side, there hasn't been a big body you need to box out. But now with Anderson coming back on, you got to readjust that game plan.
Yeah, and the game's still tied, so Humber not quite able to rediscover that lead. And we have less than a minute to go here in the third quarter. Fighting hard towards the hoop. Rebounded by Anderson. There you go, Zach, right away. The impact in the offensive end for Fanshawe's leading scorer. And 2 free throws on the way.
Yeah, Bapti did not like that call. Thought she had the ball.
brings up Joanna Smith. We talked about her three-point percentage being tied for best in the province. Free throw-wise, she's shooting 55% on the season. So statistically, Zach, she's going to drill this next.
Drill the next one. We talked about her in the first quarter after she went down hard on one of the plays she was fouled on, showing signs maybe, hurt her leg a little bit, but she's been playing perfect basketball ever since. Doesn't seem like that's affecting her whatsoever.
Nice move inside, now kicked out. Bapti looking for a lane. She is absolutely swarmed. Jump ball, gonna go to Fanshawe. How often have we seen Fanshawe's defense just really not allow anything easy and just seem to be really sticking to these Humber attackers like glue.
And what started to work for Humber was when they were drawing the defense in and then just kicking the ball back out. That was what was key.
Turned over, not a lot of time left here as Bapti goes skipping into the zone. And Coach Carrier not happy with the call as he throws his hands up in frustration, but with only a few seconds left in the third quarter, Humber able to draw the foul, so that's going to go against number 24.
I think they were calling the foul on the floor. Yeah, that's going to get overturned. Bapti was going up to shoot.
She was ready. Hasabenabi is guilty of the foul that time, says the official. Fanshawe up by 1. Again, can Humber reclaim that lead? Tied back up at 46 with 6 seconds left in the third. Bapti, second one is good. Humber back out in front. Can they hang on to it? Maybe one more chance for Fanshawe to heave one up. And the jump ball. It's going to go in favor of the Hawks, but kind of a moot point. 0.9 seconds on the official clock here.
All right, so who's heaving it up at half court for the shot?
Who wants their three-point percentage to take a little bit of a dent? And Martin's going to go for it. I'll tell you what, Zach, that's about as good with 0.9 on the clock. I mean, I give that 2 thumbs up, but ultimately coming up short. But, Zach, the big picture, the Humber Hawks entering the second half down by 3. They now lead by 1, and maybe a chance to build off that as we head into the final frame of regulation.
It's that slow play, right? I said it. They got better as the game got longer, and every quarter they're stepping something up and they're playing a better brand of basketball, and that's exactly what they need to do here in the fourth. Continue to elevate your game. Bring up the performance from everybody on the court. And the key factors are what we noted already, is that you got to shut down Anderson down low.
Looking at our stats after 3 quarters of play, leading the way for the Humber Hawks with a not only team high, but a game high 14 points. Kiowa also 6 for 7 on her free throws. So Zach, that's been able, Kiowa's been able to get herself to that free throw line, and no surprise. I mean, she is attacking the hoop. On the other side of things, leading the way for this Fanshawe team, number 0, Joanna Smith. She's got 11, including 5 for 6 on her free throws. And from three-point land, Smith is 2 for 3, so 66%, slightly higher than her league best season average.
There's not really that many discrepancies between the two teams in the rebounds. You know, Fanshawe leading at 37 to 35, but the biggest one is the offensive boards. Fanshawe 16 to Humber's 12. Another big thing that I'm noticing, again, it's the points in the paint. Fanshawe 20 to Humber's 12, but the Hawks are doing something amazing in points off of turnovers. They're generating a lot of turnovers, which is leading them to a lot of baskets. 29 points scored for the Hawks on turnovers compared to Fanshawe's 12.
That's right, partner. So today it's been Joanna Smith. She's going to be inbounding the ball, but she's been the one that's led the way offensively. We'll see if that pattern continues as Fanshawe finds themselves down by a single point heading into the fourth quarter. Matt kicks it around. Here's Smith.
It's a high arcing shot that just doesn't fall for her, and big break for Humber.
Karina with it. Winter Josephs with a mid-range shot, and that is all good, and Humber's lead now up to 3.
Good job to turn the corner, pivot, and go for that mid-range J.
And Kia Watt stepping in, the veteran with the steal and the bucket.
That's her 5th steal of the game.
And boy, for Fanshawe, you know, they really found themselves in such a good position for much of this game. And let's see if they can find a spark to get back on top, or are the Hawks just starting to heat up? Almost another steal for Humber. And a deep 3, rebounded by Persia.
And this perfect by the Hawks. Slow it down, get your pace. You have the lead now. And this is when they can start picking away and really expanding the lead.
Karina sends it into the corner as Bapti gives it right back. A little pitch and catch between those two ladies. And Bapti will hit the 3. It was pass, 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 and a wide open look for Bapti. And a timeout called by Fanshawe.
Fired up running the bench was Persia Martin-Brown. Sarah Bapti, when you give her that much open space, she had time to spin the ball in her hand, get set, and shoot it. 15, ain't gonna miss that one. This is what you want to see. Hawks coming right out of that break. Just beautiful brand of basketball. They extend this lead to an 8-point lead. And you have a great opportunity here to go up double digits for the first time really since the beginning of the game.
There you have it. And Humber, who found themselves just in this hole for much of the game. They tried to claw their way out of it, and now they have succeeded and find themselves up by 8.
But it's also just been the three-point shooting. Yes, it's taken a dip here in the last 2 quarters, but they're not shying away from it. They're still going for every opportunity that they can. They went 3 for 12. They had 12 shots from beyond the arc, hit 3 of them in that third quarter, 1 for 7 in the second, and then 3 for 5 in the first. If you can have a team that's going to hit your three-pointers and not shy away from them and continue to push, that's a good brand of basketball because it puts pressure on the other team. Now we have to start defending outside, and that allows openings down low in the paint.
We've seen Humber's, best player, Kia Watt, really get going here as well, as she was kind of jammed up at 8 points for a good chunk of the first half, but second half she is very much reactivated and come alive here. Some big steals as Humber gets another turnover in the defensive end. And Bapti sends it down low to Karina. Nice move here. Thomas to the hoop, and it's good. And just another outstanding play from Kalani Thomas.
Yeah, Kalani Thomas, since coming off the bench, she's just been a spark plug for the squad, and that's exactly what they needed. Great play so far today out of number 5.
Looking for a 3-ball to draw nearer, not going to find it. Humber up by 10, looking to extend that lead where they got all the momentum on their side right now. Another wide open look for Bapti, and yeah, she's going to drain it. Explosive offense for Humber in the fourth quarter.
Beautiful, beautiful ball movement.
And so Fanshawe all out of sorts, and Humber is dialed right in here when it matters most, right, Zach? You get into that fourth quarter, and how many times do we see teams string together a great 3 quarters, and then, you can kind of let it slip away. And right now it's Humber who's not letting the earlier play in the game really phase them. They have just locked in on some red-hot fourth quarter play here.
There's been a couple plays that, you don't see on the stat sheet, but they make a big impact. There was a double team down low to box out Anderson on the defensive end, and it was Bapti and Persia Martin-Brown that did it, and that led to the big 3-pointer from Bapti. It's just small plays like that will help you extend this lead.
And Fanshawe once again struggling to get that offense clicking again. Kia moving in, and the foul call goes in favor of Watt, who will earn yet another trip to the free throw line, and that's just been such a game changer for Humber to keep their offensive drives going.
Kind of surprised that, Joanna Smith was taken off the court after that timeout called. She's been the hottest player on the side of Fanshawe. You want to make sure she's in there as much as she can.
She's back in the mix now. Kia a little too strong on the first one, looking to get to that 60-point mark. And Kia 0 for 2 on that trip. Good defense as Humber kind of really giving Fanshawe a taste of their own medicine, really swarming the Falcons when they're on offense. And you see looks like maybe an injury to Persia, and she'll hobble off the court.
But credit to Persia Martin-Brown, because she got hurt early on in that play, and she did not give up. She made sure to go get that defensive board, fight Anderson down low, and then that's when afterwards she went off and fell. But credit to Persia Martin-Brown for toughing that one out until the play was over.
Kia loses the grip, and she trips over the ball, and a jump ball is the call from the official. Humber will hang on to it here. And a timeout from Humber. And Zach, what do you think's going through the mind of Humber's coaching staff calling the timeout? They've certainly been able to spring into a nice dominant position here, up 13 into the fourth quarter, maybe looking to hang on to that energy.
Yeah, obviously CJ Nafuente, head coach, he's probably very happy with how the team has responded here in the fourth. Most likely, though, there's a couple of miscues like that play right there where it's just kind of a broken play to start, where she's going to remind her squad, hey, we just got to clean up these small things, continue to try to be perfect on some of the other aspects of the game. And, Humber, they've done that. They've responded to their head coach every single quarter, gotten better and better.
There's the head coach in question. On the other side of things, we've seen such a good game from Fanshawe. Bill Carrier, you mentioned 19 years as the head coach of the team wearing black and red today, but ultimately, Zach, this late third, fourth quarter, things have just started to matriculate the Humber way.
It's the Battle of the Birds, another good one, instant classic.
And we know Humber was looking to keep the win streak alive, right? 6-game win streak against Fanshawe. Looked like that may have been in jeopardy. And, based on what we've seen from Fanshawe, it still could be. But right now, we have the biggest deficit of the game for either team. Now, it's going to be tough for Fanshawe to try to flap their wings here in the Battle of the Birds and get themselves back in the game. Not much time left. Got to put it up. And unfortunately, Kia Watt kind of lost track of the situation and not able to get it off.
Careful, there's a knot.
Myra Cicerelli carrying it up. Some good sportsmanship there. She offered to help Kia Watt, but Bapti looking for the foul call. Not going to get it as that one just kind of bounces down the court.
Little defense on your own team right there in the corner.
Good play. That was to the hoop, off the glass, and not an easy angle, but Asa Benabi with an outstanding offensive play. Brings her team within 11. So, Zach, a manageable deficit, just a few possessions, right? But they're going to have to slow Humber down, and that's going to be real tough if Humber can answer back with counter punches like that.
Kia Watt is a cold killer. No emotion whatsoever after that three-pointer. Just walks back to her side saying, it's just another day in the office.
Well, she's certainly used to having a big impact in OCAA basketball games. One more look here at this offensive play as Bapti, another one of her trademark assists over to another one of Watt's trademark buckets. And the Hawks back up by 14. Watt, Beverly. Bapty looking for something to shoot at. She's going to draw the foul. So Bapty has, we mentioned leading or second in team scoring on the season, leads the team in assists, really is able to do so much for Humber, kind of like the Swiss Army knife, right? So many aspects of Sarah Bapty's game are such an asset for Humber. But today, the scoring, especially the second half, has been on point. There's another one for her totals, but a couple 3 balls, and it's been outstanding for number 15.
Yeah, she's coming in almost doubled her. If she hits this basket, it'll be doubled her points every single quarter from that first half. Came into the second half with 4 points, finished the third quarter with 8, and right now sitting at 15. But again, that Swiss Army knife you talk about, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, doing everything.
Air ball rebounded by Kia Watt. And Kia all alone up top, being guarded by the tall defender, Anderson. Garby with the pump fake in towards the hoop. And not able to best Ashlyn Anderson. Anderson now with a good defensive play in her belt, comes on the offensive end and draws the foul. And we'll see if number 15 sitting at 6 points on the day, so the leading scorer on the season for Fanshawe has not quite been as effective. Got a nosebleed from one of the Fanshawe players.
That's not a fun experience.
No, we're gonna need a little bit of a cleanup crew, so this might be a slightly significant delay while we get this all taken care of.
That's not fun. Not fun at all. And we got the best cleanup crew man right here.
Well, this is the
Mr. Dwayne Bowles.
The biohazard, so you can't just get the sweat mop. They just saw the sweat mop guy coming in. They said, no, dude, you can't. You got to get the special equipment out for this one.
The hardest working man in Humber College, Dwayne Bowles. Hands and knees cleaning up the floor.
There's Bill Carrier, the head coach. Zach, he's got to be thinking, what can I do to get my team in alignment here and just kind of tap back into what they were doing earlier in the game. We saw Fanshawe with so much success. So the good news is, Zach, it's all smiles for the injured Fanshawe Falcon who's getting treated by the training staff for a nosebleed.
One of my favorite parts was another player on the sideline goes, you just took a hand to the face and just went bang. Faked as if she got hit in the face, but she's all smiles on the side. She's okay.
Basketball is one of those sports kind of, really leader in the clubhouse in the nosebleed department. Humber able to hang on to it here. This is big. If Humber can not only drain a little bit of clock, but perhaps even add some points on some of these possessions here in the fourth quarter, that could really help to seal the deal as the Hawks look to improve to 13-2 when it looked like they may have picked up their third loss of the season here today. Humber's really turned it around, but still 4 minutes left to go here. We'll see if Fanshawe can flip the script. And as it stands right now, Humber has really done an excellent job of clawing back the lead. Fanshawe with a nice bucket there.
What an off-balance floater right there from Smith.
And 2 free throws for Beverly O'Mary.
We haven't really seen Beverly in the game a whole lot. One of those kind of players that if she gets hot, she can score from all over the floor.
Partner, you're having a little bit of a coughing fit. You must have had some of that Hawks Nation popcorn and got a kernel.
That was a scary
Stuck
moment.
in the larynx.
Saw my life flash before my eyes. I'm not sure if it was one of the lights here in the gym or if the light was just shining down on me, but I was walking closer to it right there.
I'm glad you're still with us. Zach, the lead now, 12 for Humber. Still some blood to clean up, yeah.
Nosebleeds, never fun. Never fun. The hardest working man here, again, goes out there, Dwayne Bowles.
Yeah, Dwayne.
He's got hands and knees just scrubbing. Look at that. We got a great shot of it there. Oh, cut away.
But
got a great shot of it.
The big boss here on game day.
He's rocking the LeBrons there on his feet. Okay, styling up. Styling, profiling.
Okay, Zach, so we got 3 minutes and, let's say, 40 seconds on the clock, 3:39 to be exact. Fanshawe has had some good offensive plays, but here we go, Zach. It's Humber once again earning their way to the free throw line. This has been big, right, to just kind of keep the game in their hands. Amiri, first free throw is good. Humber applying the pressure here and not allowing Fanshawe to get comfortable. This is exactly what Humber would like to see, right? Not only is Humber successfully, operating in the offensive end, but we just really see the Falcons discombobulated, and I think you have to give credit. In the first 3 quarters, Zach, Humber's offense a little out of sorts, and that was really in large part due to Fanshawe's defensive play. Now the tables have turned. It's Humber who's really tightened up, as Humber will actually get possession here, Zach.
Yeah, the Fanshawe Falcons, they had a plan in the first half, and to their credit, they were executing it perfectly. They were very aggressive on defense. They weren't allowing the Hawks to get any openings, and their interior defense was just so strong.
That 3 ball not going to fall. Rebounded by Matt. Renee Matt kicks it over. Up top here, Senton, and Humber with the rebound. A foul is going to be called against Ashlyn Anderson. So that is her 3rd foul. Persia, it's good to see her check back in the game. She left earlier, kind of hobbled off, but looks like number 10 for Humber, Persia Martin-Brown, is all good to go. Beverly, nice move, and then just hitting the turbo mode right to the hoop.
I mentioned Beverly can score from all over when she's clicking, and that was just a beautiful drop to the net.
Oh! And then right back on the other side, Persia Martin-Brown. My goodness, that was aggressive on the defensive end. Here's her play with the bucket, or pardon me, that was her teammate, Beverly.
Oh, don't worry, I think the play is going to continue. Oh, no, we're not going to see it in the replay. That was a big-time block.
So time dwindling away here in this 4th quarter. And Humber able to stand strong defensively. Del Mundo gets the rebound and gets it up to Marion. Marion Martin back with it. Some nice footwork. Shot clock winding down here. And that will bring us to another jump ball call. I feel like the rate of jump balls in this game maybe a little higher than most.
Did you take the over or the under?
Wish I would have slammed that over, because it's been a big part of the game here. And foul against Humber. 2 minutes on the clock. Has Humber done enough here to get their 13th win of the season.
They've been playing extremely well, and it was a very slow start in that first quarter, but they've been building and building ever since, and in the fourth quarter, it was just like the icing on the cake.
And take a look at that. Another offensive opportunity slips away from Fanshawe as the Hawks defense has really just become an increasing factor here as this game has gone on. Marion's going to need some support getting out here. A lot of Fanshawe defenders putting the squeeze on Humber in this breakout. Beverly a little off balance. Martin feeds it down low. Brooklyn Johnson hands it off. Marion looking for a lane, and shot clock expires. Not able to get it off in time. Checking in for Humber now, Kiara Mackenzie Johnson. Don't forget the men's teams take the court when this one wraps up. Have about a 30-minute intermish, and then we'll get the fellas on the court, so stay tuned. This is just game one of our doubleheader. Rebounded, and Humber with all kinds of defenders swarm in the area, and that's going to allow the Hawks to get the rebound. Less than a minute to go as Humber successfully was able to pull themselves out of a difficult spot in this game, Zach, and after coming into this game off a loss, you know, this is exactly what Humber wanted to do, was even if they had to face some adversity, find a way to get back in the win column, and it appears they've done enough to do just that.
Yeah, and a great job to start off this mini two-game home series off to the right start. You know, you bounce back from that first loss, you get that win here, and what's looking like it's going to be a win here, and you continue to grow closer to that top spot in that West Division. Niagara currently 10-1. The Hawks, you know, they would love to be right back in that #1 seed.
Had a three-point shot jacked up there by Janelle Almariego. Another three-pointer for Fanshawe comes up empty right into the hands of Marley Bonnick, who very coolly will just pass that up. Shot clock turned off, and that looks like it'll do it. The Humber Hawks dig deep, find a way to continue the win streak against Fanshawe, make that 7 in a row in favor of the Hawks in this Battle of the Birds. Final score, 66-51, leading the way was a couple of Humber scores. Kia Watt really was able to dig deep, and even if earlier in the game wasn't quite firing on all cylinders, the second leading scorer in the OCAA, Kia Watt for Humber, big part of Humber being able to pull things together, Zach, but it wasn't just all Watt, a couple different players really playing well.
Yeah, just a massive game from Kia Watt, like you said. You got to give special credits to Kalani Thomas. What she was able to do, just providing that spark off the bench, that's huge. And then Sarah Baptiste, another great day filling the stat sheets. She was just all over the floor. It's going to be tough to pick who's going to be player of the game. Obviously, you got two big candidates in Kia Watt and Sarah Baptiste, but my underlying player of the game would be Kalani Thomas. The impact she made was so big.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, a player that can give you that little spark, sometimes that'll turn into a fire, you know what I mean? And I think number 5 for Humber, Kalani Thomas, as you said, did just that. Player of the game for Humber, Sarah Baptiste. And there's a look at the women's team filing out of the gym. Folks, it's been great to have you with us. There's Baptiste with Humber's president. And we'll be right back. A quick intermission here between games and more OCAA action. We hope you stay here right with us on the Hawks Sports Network. For my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit, and myself, Matt Hamill, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you for the men's game.